Hey guys, it's KJM and I'm back with another countdown to Christmas movie review. I hope you've been following me thus far, and if you haven't been, catch up, follow me, especially here on TikTok. Next week is Thanksgiving week, which is what we like to call, between Miracles of Christmas and Countdown to Christmas, like the Christmas movie Olympics. And it's going to be a lot going on next week. I'm going to try to cover it in the most timely manner as possible. But yes, I am your guide to Hallmark Christmas, okay? You're going to get these reviews in very detailed, and you're going to get them as fast as you can, and I will post them on all my social medias, okay? Last Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Christmas with the Singhs premiered, starring Anuja Joshi and Benjamin Hollingsworth. You guys remember Benjamin Hollingsworth from Virgin River. Absolutely love his character there. But I will tell you this is the best movie on Hallmark he has been in this year. He had that really religious that really religious Easter movie earlier in the year, did not like it. Then he was like whitewater rafting with Cindy Busby. That was just okay. I think Christmas with the Singhs is a breath of fresh air, and considering what a disaster the Hallmark Channel was this past weekend, I'm not talking about over there on Miracles of Christmas. They were doing good with The Reason for the Season. But baby, when we got back to the regular Hallmark, Christmas with the Singhs was the best movie last weekend. Jingle Bell Run, I haven't done my review yet. Very subpar. Got through it because I love the leads. And I have yet to fully get through Confessions of a Christmas Letter. I've restarted it, I think, twice. I've read some of the Hallmarky comments where people were saying that movie was so painful to get through. And then they also made mention that they didn't enjoy Jingle Bell Run. So given that, when I first started watching Christmas with the Singhs, I was going to give it a 7 out of 10, like within the first hour. And then the movie really picked up. Given that the other movies for the weekend to me were like complete bombs and not things that were easy to get through, I'm giving Christmas with the Singhs an 8 out of 10. Yeah, y'all got bumped up, Anuja and Benjamin. Y'all got bumped up because at least you guys gave us family, Christmas, love. Like, we could all see it come together. And I think, like, I was telling Megan that I think Benjamin Hollingsworth has this boy next door charm that will make you fall in love with him even when it's a time when you should be angry with him. And his character, Jake, in this movie portrays that charm very, very well. Okay, let's get into it. All right, Christmas with the Singhs. Let's get into the premise. Asha and Jake both went to, I think, high school together. On a Christmas Eve, Jake injures himself and has to go to the emergency room. And who ends up being his emergency nurse practitioner? Asha. They immediately remember each other from high school. They talked about some of the good memories of what they knew of the other person. And you see sparks fly. I cannot tell you how important it is for the two leads to have chemistry. And these two did have chemistry. You can see immediately they're attracted to each other. They go take a walk together, and you're like, okay, is he going to really ask her for her number, ask her if he can pursue her? And he does. He does. These two immediately start dating. We see the seasons go by, and they're holding hands together, which was so super cute. I kept yelling, they're so stinking cute, which I love doing that, right? Anyway, as the seasons go by, 1 year later, we see Christmas is approaching. And Jake O'Brien proposes to Asha Singh. Okay, so Jake is first generation Irish American, and then Asha is first generation Indian American. I hope I got that right, okay? And so these two immediately, they're so excited they're engaged, but then Asha says, oh, I can't believe you got my father's blessings. And Jake was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. So let me explain to like the American people. In certain cultures, you can't just bring home a boyfriend. Okay, so Jamaican culture, it could be different from each family. But I know from my family, they've never known me to have like a bona fide boyfriend. He's either my friend or my husband, and I've never had a husband. So it means anybody they've even seen out the corner of their eye, or anyone who was introduced to them because the person is picking me up to take me somewhere, whether it was on his little bicycle or in his vehicle, that's just my friend. Like, daddy, that's just my friend. And that's a personal thing. Like, I am of a very grown woman's age, and I still am very careful about who I bring around my family. And yes, I mention every guy as a friend if I do mention them. There's no boyfriend. It's friend or husband, and I haven't had a husband, right? So they just know them as my little friends, okay? And I know that that is the same for a lot of cultures. Nobody really wants to see who you're dating. They want to see who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So now Asha realizes that Jake did not ask her father's permission for her hand in marriage. I'm going to tell you, anybody out there thinking about marrying me, yes, you got to go to my dad. You got to go to Papa M. And you gotta let him know that you can take care of me. In that stance, I am traditional. So anyway, so now Asha knows they have a problem. They need to go back to their original hometown where both their families live, and their families know they're engaged. And so immediately the two cultures start to clash. The Singhs, they have a lot of traditions through the holidays that are Christian traditions, Indian Christian traditions, as they are not Hindu. And so there you go. The two families are off to a race, and the clashing back and forth. Here's the thing about it. Most of my friends, like 99% of my friends, gay, straight, indifferent, they do not like their in-laws or tolerate their in-laws. So I think for most, even when you're marrying within your culture, in-laws is such a tough thing to maneuver because everybody loves their child and generally will critique the other person. I think if both families of each culture in this movie decided to support the couple instead of their individual children, this would have been an easier mesh for both of them. When Asha's parents are talking, Asha's mom was Hindu and her dad's family was one of the first to become Christian. And so she explained that even with those differences in their faith, and she ended up converting and becoming Christian along with her husband. She said even with that difficulty, they found their way together, and that Asha and Jake will find their way as well. So we see these two try to maneuver, like, can the cultures blend together? Asha's not really standing up for Jake the way she should with her family. And I get that her father feels like he's losing his little girl, his only daughter, and that this is really tough for him. And this, he just wasn't ready for this, right? Her mom seems to be more on board in the relationship, and that's helpful that she has that support. For Jake, his parents are divorced, so he's not only maneuvering Christmas with his in-laws, he's maneuvering Christmas with his divorced parents, who end up being on their best behavior as they go through all these different celebrations. Both families, from the Irish Americans to the Indian Americans, have certain traditions, and it's putting a strain on Asha and Jake. Asha is beginning to think that maybe it's not a good idea for them to get married. Jake can't believe that she's even questioning if they belong together, when it just seems like her family is not compromising at all. Well, finally, after the two seem like they're going to split, their families decide that the two of them really love each other. They come together to support the couple, and they blend Indian American and Irish American culture very well for their engagement party. And I love when Hallmark does their version of Indian culture. I don't particularly know if it's spot on, but I do know that it's beautiful. Whether we're watching an Indian wedding, an Indian engagement party, I immediately want to participate, and I am a person that does not enjoy weddings. I just thought the two of them looked wonderful. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. This was the best movie on the Hallmark Channel Countdown to Christmas last weekend. So I'm going to tell you this, it doesn't get better than this. Unless you want to go over to Miracles of Christmas and watch A Reason for the Season, this is as good as it's freaking gonna get. Hallmark, get your shit together. Get your shit together, because we needed more from you. We are grateful for Christmas with the Singhs, but for that to be the only movie out of the 3 movies you premiered last weekend that was enjoyable and rewatchable is just, come on, get it together. Shout out to Anuja and Benjamin. You guys did the damn thing. You shined on a Friday. This should have been a Saturday night movie. All right, Christmas with the Singhs. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. KJM, see you guys at the next review.